team, and how does it kind of raise the ceiling when the players themselves can help in those tough moments?
Well, your best coach teams are player coach teams. I mean, it's been the case forever. But the fact that they take ownership of it. And is this really going to work well with all this pounding back there? They take ownership of it, and the fact that's a maturity of this team that maybe a year ago we weren't quite ready for. So I think I've always said I thought last year would help us if we processed it and used it right, and it's obviously the case. They've taken the lessons from last year, and some of that is on the court, some of it's off the court in the leadership and the huddles in the locker room.
Greg, you knew Arizona was going to be good. I think they're picked on the Pac-12. Did you think they were going to be this good when you saw it when this game came up?
Well, it came up fast, in terms of this summer, late spring, when it happened. I mean, I had talked to Tommy about it, a couple years ago when he got the job, and we thought when it would fit. We didn't know when it would fit and when it would happen. So, and it kind of, it exploded on the scene pretty fast this summer. So, I mean, you see what Arizona's always been pretty good. Some years they've been great. So, for us, it's a chance to not only this year, but we have them back here next year, and that was really, I think, the driving force behind it. We're getting all kinds of background music. The driving force behind it was we need a marquee home game next year with the Gannett Cup going away and the ACC championship not happening, and we're not sure yet. Obviously, on the Big Ten schedule, we'll stay at 20 games or increase. So it just fit, and I think we're in a position where we can take on that type of challenge. And, it's going to be fun.
You mentioned some years they've been great. I can think of 2 years in particular with Sean Miller. I know those games had nothing to do with this one, but what do you remember from those back-to-back NCAA games?
There've been two terrific teams that came down to the wire. A Final Four level game with high-level play each end. So we won the first one in overtime. Second one, obviously, Sam got loose in transition. We got a 3. They got us separation. But you talk about two teams that could have easily been a national championship match in either one of the years, because Arizona had a terrific year both years. But I'm sure for their fan base, they'll see that W come back again. But in terms of it has no implication in terms of what happens between the lines on Saturday.
The first one was his first trip to the Final Four, and his dad had passed.
Right.
How many strong memories would you have?
Yeah, that whole run, the comeback we made against Oregon and Bradley Center was big, and I remember even after that game out west, after we beat Arizona, and looking up in the stands, and somebody had a big cardboard sign that said, "This one's for Butch." So those moments in time are obviously special.
You've talked about the importance of home and home with your scheduling. When you and Bo got here, was that his idea to have more home and home, or because you did the schedule, was that something you kind of pushed for to have these kind of games?
Well, I think the landscape of scheduling has changed.
Yes.
Even since I've taken over, we've seen the home and homes become the popular thing in the early 2000s, and then all these neutral site games became important or more attractive. The growth of the MTEs is another thing that's really taken scheduling another bite out of it. Conference realignment has taken another bite out of it. So there's so many things that it's not the same as it used to be. But I've always felt that if you can get really good teams that want to do it, we've gotten a heck of a lot more no's than we've got yeses. But when you can have these type of games on campuses, I think it's great for the game. It's a little old school, and that's good. I think that's last Saturday's game was like that in terms of an afternoon game. It's two good teams, and when we can do them when it fits. We're still obviously conversations about MTEs. We've got them booked out for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Always open to neutral site events. We've been approached by several already. Obviously, we'll return the one to Stanford next year to San Jose. So, I think you keep an open mind. And obviously, conference expansion is added another piece to that puzzle.
Does it mean anything more?
It tells me we're playing a heck of a good team. I mean, I didn't squawk when we weren't ranked. I haven't said one word about us being ranked, and we know we're playing a good team, and that's regardless of what the number was. And Tommy's done a really good job there. And, and in the transfer portal world, you see what they lost a really good point guard, Akira Kursa. They got a terrific four-man from San Diego State, Johnson. So, and his international connections, just like he had at Gonzaga, he's been able to bring in some players to fill in there too. So, it'll be a terrific environment, extremely hostile, loud. I know we got a lot of fans going, and West Coast fan base too. That are some of them are snowbirds, some of them are permanently out there that are looking forward to this trip.
You mentioned scheduling and the uncertainty about the Big Ten schedule.
Right.
Do you have a preference? About how
20.
many? You do want to stay
20. I want to stay at 20. That's my preference. And we've had conversations. I don't think there's been a final decision made on that yet. My vote whether we stay at 20 category, just because it allows us to do these type of events. You start adding 21, 22, and now we're not getting more games on the. So where do you give it up? So I think we're at a good place with 20. I think the move from 18 to 20 was, even though some coaches didn't like it, we've seen the strength of schedule with and how many teams we've got in the tournament, the analytics, it's all those people that didn't want to go to 20 that are taking all this. How it's helped us, but I think the analytics say if you go 21 or 22, you start to cannibalize yourself a little bit more. So there's some balance you're trying to find there too. Yeah, what's that? Well, you'll play. I mean, in terms of.
You play everybody once.
Yeah, they'll rotate through it. I don't know if they'll do protected football. They did, the protected games. I don't know if they've jockeyed it around. We were ready to roll with 16 teams. That schedule was almost done, and then here comes Washington and Oregon. So, my assumption is it'll come here pretty soon. But that's been the one debate that's going on right now. Do we stay at 20? Do we go to 21, 22? And then how many teams go to the Big Ten tournament? Is it 14? Is it 15? Is it 16? Is it all 18? So there's all the people that want to go to 18, I guess, or stay at 14.
Greg, you touched on the portal with Johnson, but also obviously they score a lot of points. What has stood out to you about kind of some of the play of Caleb Love as well as the maturation of Boswell, kind of looking like more of the true point guard too?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched, obviously it's been 48 hours of fast studying on him, but we know Caleb Love because we played against him. Terrific player, he's almost in our league. But, it's him, the big guy Ballo inside is a heck of a player. Larson, they've got really good play, and they're deep, and they're big. I mean, they bring 7-2 off the bench. So it's what you would expect. I mean, it's a really good team that has a lot of experience, has a lot of firepower. They've been really good defensively. They've put up a lot of points on teams, so it'll be a tremendous challenge for us, but one that I think it's good for us to go get tested. And it's a great national game. I think it's a salute to both programs that here we are going to play this in a true. Because I think they're playing some other teams, but not in a true home and home. So we're the one team that's going to go there to foreign turf, so to speak, and try to toe up with them.
You've talked a lot about belief with this group. I mean, obviously you said that you don't care about the ranking, but for the younger guys, I mean, to get into the ranking and to play teams and beat teams that have a ranking, does that help at all?
I think the belief comes more from the results, and you can talk about it. We can work on it in the practice gym or downstairs, but it's the results, and we're able to perform at a high level. And I never talk about, winning. I talk about holding a standard of excellence and performing to play the game the right way, play the game at a high level. The results will take care of itself. The scoreboard will take care of itself. And I think what they see is the how-tos and the how-not-tos, and understand it and believe in, hey, if you play at a high level, here's what can happen, and consistently play there. So that's the challenge, is trying to stay consistently at a really high level. And the belief is it's real. I mean, and you have to talk about it because, as I mentioned, I think last week in the Marquette press conference, that they hear so much on the other side that's you're not this or you're not that, or just it's the way society is right now with being so negative, and part of it's the social media world that you know they are in. So you have to counter them with real facts, you know, and speak the truth to them and show them exactly what can happen when you believe in each other and believe in what we're doing, and you know, kind of you counter and smother out all the outside noise.
Going off of that, I mean,
Guys, last one.
Ask Tyler too. He said the defense was probably the catalyst during the stretch that's made you guys so good. What comments would you have?
Yeah, and that's where we've gotten. I think we've gotten better in a lot of areas, but the area that probably kept me up most at night was defensively. We had to get better, and I think that's the benefit of playing a tough schedule is we got exposed. You know, if we would have played, you know, a lighter schedule, we would have snuck through it, and we would have had a false sense of reality of who we really are and where we need to grow. And you know, when you're looking at it, it's not fun to go through, but the results and the improvement that's forced and the growth that it's forced, I think we're seeing the benefits of that. All good? All right.